I'm
We want we
I am recording this message, this webinar on the date of March 23rd in our year of our Lord 2017. I hope that the weather is fine in Salt Lake City. We have officially entered spring, and yet it snowed today. Yeah, ski season is still live and vibrant, but the snow melted and I see sun outside our window, and all is well. I wanted to go over just a little bit about, for those that haven't seen this before, or introduce myself. I am the formulator, a food scientist for 3Believe. 3Believe is a company that provides a very unique product line. The design is for us to overcome the symptoms of metabolic syndrome. My personal goal and belief is that we can overcome the symptoms of metabolic syndrome in our country, and in any country actually, in our lifetime. In fact, physiologically speaking, this is established and proven through clinical studies that if you follow a protocol that is one that we have adopted, you don't even have to take our product, but the studies have shown that it is absolutely essential that you follow a program that our program has outlined, meaning the macro nutrient balance, that's the proteins, that's the carbohydrates, that's the fats. If they are all followed in the right ratio, then your body has to respond. It just isn't a choice. It just happens. And those studies show that we can rid our country of the symptoms of metabolic syndrome in as soon as 12 weeks. That's amazing. Why haven't we been able to get this information out? It's not something that just 3Believe has. We as a country, as a scientific community, we have known this as long as 50 years. Now granted, in the last 15 years, much greater information has revealed itself, but we've been pointed in the right direction. And the reason why is because of our propensity and our appetite for food, for our commercialization of food in our restaurants. If you've noticed in the last 25 years, the serving size in a restaurant hasn't decreased, it's increased in size, which seems almost counterintuitive to the business model. Less food, charge more for it, increase your profits, right? But that's not what the American people want. They want more food, they want more substance because their appetites have grown. Now, is it just because, excuse me, is it just because we are gluttonous pigs? No, that's not it. Is it just because our eyes are too big for our stomach? That's not it either. It is a physiological fact. Something has occurred in your body that makes your appetite grow. And that's why we, in our formula, have put something in there to solve that problem. You see, the reason why our appetites are so big is because our bodies are telling us that we need more nutrients, more certain macronutrients for it to thrive. In other words, your body has not been able to digest the foods at a high enough ratio, a high enough effectiveness to give the body what it needs. And so it just simply says, I need more of it then. If you only had one arm instead of two arms, and you were standing at a conveyor belt, and your job was to pick apples off of that conveyor belt, would you be able to pick off more or less apples with one arm than with two? Well, obviously you would be able to pick off much less using one arm than with two. That's exactly what happens in your digestive system when you have a deficient amount of enzymes. Enzymes is the key factor that break down our food so that you and I can get the nutrients from it. We simply just can't get a protein that is literally like the size of my fist in ratio, and when our cells are the size of my little pinky fingernail. because that cannot fit into here. Your cells do not have the ability to absorb such a large mass. And so enzymes come and break this out and individualize all the nutrients, both macro and micro nutrients, and all the associate nutrients that are in that food, so that our cells have the ability to absorb it. But if you don't have the enzyme, the disassembly crew to break it apart, it just simply passes through your body. And in some cases, your body will see it, that good food, that macronutrient, that micronutrient, as a foreign invader, because it's not broken down, it's not digested. And so your body sees it as waste or a toxin and gets rid of it. And so your body says, I know you ate it, but I didn't get it at the cellular level, so give me more. And that's one of the primary reasons our appetites have grown, because restaurants and companies have heard our cry that our servings are too small. And so they want to stay in business. They want to be competitive with their neighbor competition, and they increase it. That's why our appetites have grown. But I digress. Again, why are we here? We're here because we have a real life solution to overcome this terrible disease. So let's identify one more time what metabolic syndrome is. Scientifically, it's outlined as being overweight, having high glucose levels or type 2 diabetes, having elevated glucose or high blood pressure, having high cholesterol, and have a fatty liver. Now, there's sister symptoms that are attached to all of those things, like arthritis, like inflammational issues, sore joints, upset stomachs, gastrointestinal issues, GERD, heartburn, diarrhea, constipation, poor sleep, cognitive functions, your ability to think and concentrate are all reduced. Eyesight, night vision, the list goes on that are known as sister symptoms to the causes of metabolic syndrome. So if you boil that down even more, what does that mean to the average person walking on the street? If this is your first time, what I'm trying to say is that your liver is too fat, and your liver doesn't have the ability to process the foods that it's getting in it, because the liver acts as a cleansing filter, but it also acts as the disassembly factory that breaks those things down so that it's reintroduced back to the bloodstream so your cells can get it. And if it's not working right, and when I say not working right, that means it's too fat. Your liver, you see, is kind of like a radiator. It has all these tubes going back and forth, and your blood flows through it, and it's filtered and toxins are taken out, but also nutrients are pulled out of that bloodstream as well, so that your body can get the good stuff out of it. Well, if that liver is clogged, if any of those channels are clogged, then because it's too fat, then it's less efficient. Not as much blood can flow through it, and that can cause some major problems. Now, blood is the life force to us, and just like a diabetic that has neuropathy and their circulation has reduced. Some of you may have friends or relatives or stories that you've heard of where a diabetic have lost toes. They've lost their entire foot. Some have lost their legs and their ears. They just had to cut them off because there was an insufficient amount of circulation to that part of the tissue, and it just dies. That too can happen to your liver. The beta cells in that liver don't have a flow of fuel to it, meaning the blood, and so it dies. And that's where we have cirrhosis of the liver. And these are things that are just simply not good for our physiology. So our goal here is to give you nutrients that will reverse that process. How did we get it in the first place? Did we get bad genes? Did grandma and grandpa just give us a bum rap? No. We ate our way to that health, scientifically proven. Now, there are some genetic disorders, but a very, very small population of our human family are the ones that are affected by that. It is by food. We ate our way to poor health, and thank goodness we can eat our way back out. It is food that is the solution. As much as I want to tell you, and as much as I want to try and convince you to buy the 3Believe products because they're wonderful, and they are, they taste delicious, and they do. As much as I'd like to say that, I got to be honest with you. It's not that we've invented the only ingredients on earth that will do these things, because you could get them at a million places. It's just Mother Nature has provided the solution for it. All we did is we went to Mother Nature's shopping grocery store, if you will. We assembled it in a very convenient manner for you to be able to take it. That's all we did. And we did it with some modern technology of superpowering that extract, of making it, getting rid of the things that we didn't necessarily need because we're not targeting, say, fiber. We don't need any more fiber of that nutrient that I'm trying to get up that lowers your cholesterol levels, because I'm giving you enough fiber in the shake. And so I got rid of that part and just focused on what the studies show have been effective of lowering your cholesterol levels. And so that's what we've done. So when you hear me say things that seem outrageous and amazing, that one of your CMR shakes, your complete meal replacement shakes, is equivalent to 32 pounds of food. Nutritionally speaking, you drink one shake, 2 scoops and 2 pumps of the oil in your shaker, and you mix that up and you drink it. That nutritionally is the same of eating 32 pounds of fruits, and vegetables, of meat and cheese, and fibers. You're getting all your vitamins and minerals. You're getting all of your proteins, all your omega fats, and all the connective nutrients that are attached to it. And that's quite a statement, but how do I prove that? Just by the ingredients that we've put in there, and by the ingredients that you're getting in the supermarket of those foods from their raw source. You physically couldn't eat that much at one time. And so that's how we make that statement. And other people could do it. Other companies could do it. You could do it. You could go down to the grocery store and you could get 32 pounds. It'd cost you about $98 and some change. And so it'd be very expensive. Now, if I were you, I'd just get a sign up and have it sent to your home, and it'd cost you $3.47 instead of $98. But that's your choice. You could sit and see how many days it takes you to eat 32 pounds. But that's your choice too. So that's what we're about. That's what we're trying to do, is make it a simple, easy delivery system. You can drink it in a couple of minutes. You can make it in even less, and your cleanup is easier. And then if you decide to share it with your friends and family, well, you have an opportunity to be able to make a little bit of money. And that's just not a bad proposition. So that's what we're here for. That's what 3B is about. And I wanted to go over a couple of things. I've teased you with this comment, and you obviously you can see by my long intro of what what we here is about in our delivery of 3Believe products, that I never give a short answer ever, and I apologize. Let me give you an example of that. I'm going to put on the website, which is now available. I hope that you share it with your friends. You've been asking for it, so I put it up there. You can enroll people on it. You can send them there and just buy product. They don't have to enroll. They can just buy it. And remember, boys and girls, if you use your name on your website, all of you have one, all of you that have signed up, for example, let's say Merv, and his access is merv.3believe.com. That's his website to 3Believe. And when you do that with using your corresponding name, then when a person goes there to either sign up or buy a product, it's already earmarked for you. The site already knows that that's your stuff, that's your people. So you all have your own landing page to 3Believe. You didn't probably realize that. when I said in the very beginning that you'd have your own website with 3Believe. Well, that's it. So if they happen to go to 3Believe instead, it still asks them for a referral for the sign-up person, the enroller. They can enter your name there too, and the same thing will happen. So just a little bit of tidbit information. Let's go back to my short answers to things. I wanted to go over tonight some of the things that the CMR can do for you. And I can't do it in one session. I just can't. This would take hours to go through. So what I'm going to prepare for you is, here's a paper, okay? You'll see here that it has a picture of our CMR on the front of it and some writing. And as you can kind of tell, well, it's rather thick. There's 38 pages on this document. And what I've done here is I have taken the prime example, or the prime ingredients that we have, that we put into the CMR. For example, here is an example of the Lactobacillus coagulans probiotic. And I show you in detail with clinical proof of why that is the best probiotic in the world, and why we put it in every single serving of the CMR. So I give you some very in-depth clinical research of why it is so powerful, why it does the things that it can do, why you feel the way you feel. Let me give an example while we're talking about that probiotic. Here is a clinical study. 38 people are involved in this one, and it was dealing with the acute chronic intestinal issues, and the treatment was 100 million spores. I give you 500 million in every shake, okay? And the effectiveness of curing this issue was, I said the C word, I'm sorry. The effectiveness rate of people that no longer had this intestinal catarrh was 86.8% success rate. Pretty darn good. And so they recovered from diarrhea. Their stools recovered to normal status, and their general symptoms of anorexia improved. And so it meets a broad one. Here's one for diarrhea. There were 15 people in this study, 100% effective rate, 100%. That's all of them. And that happened in the 3rd to the 4th day. Wow. Talk about a fast response. Constipation, that's the opposite of the diarrhea. We had a 70% success rate, and that happened in a range from 2 to 10 days, depending on those people. Here's another one of abdominal intestinal fermentation. So that's basically, sometimes people call it rot gut, right? 300 million spores. Remember, I give you 500 million, so more than enough. 100% success rate. Now, the symptoms for that is for intestinal fermentation, vomiting, you feel nauseated, your appetite disappears, your stools are irregular, and you have a stomach ache. 100% success rate. Then we have, the list just goes on. Allergic skin disease of several different types. 80% success rate. Eczema were issues that were included in this, decreasing as soon as the 3rd day. You could visually see the topical therapy. It just goes on, and that's just one of the ingredients. You have 78 of them in your CMR. 78 ingredients. It's the most complex meal replacement on earth. Now, why does not another company do what we do? Is it because I am just so absolutely brilliant and no one else knows? Well, here's studies right here. Well, that means that more than me know about them. So why don't they? Well, I'll pick you there that's raising your hand in the back. And you're exactly right. It's because of profit. It's just that your average company can make more money selling these things individually and watering them down and just giving you just enough to have you have some success. Not all companies, but a large majority. And then they put that in a bottle and they'll sell it to you for $35, $40. And then that's just one of those symptoms. And then if you want something for something else, well, you got to buy all 78 ingredients that I put in there. And it's cost prohibitive. You just can't. The average person just can't afford it. So what you end up doing is you end up picking the symptom that is most dire to you. Which one hurts the most? And then you pick, you subtract that out of your budget and you do what you can afford to do. Well, I don't like that. So, I just put it all in there. And I want to also say that when I show you these studies, and it's on the website, and it cites the clinical amount, I put the clinical amount that's mentioned in the study in every serving of the CMR. Every one. So why is that important? Well, because some companies have been known, and more than we want to mention, but what they do is they'll cite a study so that it catches people's interest, and then they'll just put enough in there to be able to say that it's on the label, but it'll be far less than what the clinical study said was needed to have any effect at all. Well, to me that's just like not putting it in there at all, or using something else and saying that it was a different product. So we don't do that. I give you the clinical dose in every single ingredient, the ones that I'm mentioning here. I'm just kind of going through here. What are some of the other things that you mentioned? All right, here's one. We use a special adaptogen that's in the CMR. One of my favorites. It's an ashwagandha powder. Now, some of you have heard about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a great herb. But the problem is most companies of the stuff that you're buying, you can buy ashwagandha. If you Googled Amazon right now or eBay, you'd find ashwagandha all over the place. But here's an important part of it. With the withanoids is the active ingredient, but there's a counterpart to that ingredient that is actually toxic to the body, and it's called withanoid A. And all other products in this most recent study show high levels of this ingredient. So it's actually counterproductive to the reason why you're taking it in the first place. The formula that I purchased right out of India is the world's highest concentration in the world, 5%, over 5%. And the next rating of anyone is less than 1%. So 5 times greater with the absence of the A series. So that's very important. But let's talk about what it does. Basically what it'll do is it'll reduce stress and anxiety. It'll enhance memory and connection, or your cognitive ability. It'll increase endurance and strength, and it improves sexual function and testosterone levels in men. So that's a good thing. Let's go a little bit more in depth in what some of these studies have shown. That the stress release, it has been shown to reduce cortisol levels by as much as 35%. Now that's the stress hormone. That's also an antagonist to burning fat. And so that's one of the things that we want to reduce. And so I put that in there at the full clinical dose. Cognitive memory, it shows that it actually improved by 68% within the first 30 days on the Welcher memory scale. The ability, it's a very popular memory scale or a measurement of memory by 68%. That's amazing in 30 days. Energy and stamina. Increase the VO2. That's the oxygen that's been able to get to your muscles. Now, as you see, this is one thing to be able to do this. Breathe in and breathe out. We can all do that pretty well, right? But once we breathe it into our lungs, the purpose is to get that vital oxygen into the blood. From the blood, you got to get it into the tissue, into the cells, into the muscle. And if you're talking about strength and stamina, it has to be in the muscle. The reason why you and I, when we're exercising or we're climbing a mountain, the reason why we start feeling tired and fatigued and getting exhausted is primarily because our muscles simply don't have any more oxygen in it. We're not breathing enough, or we're not breathing enough adequate supply to get it into that muscle tissue, so the muscle starts to fail. This increases it by a significant percentage. Here it increases it by 72%. That's amazing, in less than a month. So that's great. You don't have to be an athlete to be able to get to want to have these kind of benefits. I saw that someone asked, will you have this information? Yes. Yes. I'm going to publish this on the website so that you can download it. You can send it to anybody you like. Now, I'm going to admit, I'm going to clean it up a little bit, because I got to tell you, this is some heavy reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a summary page. I'm going to put it at the front. And what it's going to do is it's going to show kind of a highlight. How many of our ingredients affect cognitive improvement? Because I don't have just one. I have several products that help with cholesterol. And so I'll show those. Several that help with increasing the burning of fat, or helps with digestive action. So I'll do a summary page and hit those highlights of what it's actually going to do for you. And then I'll let you go through and read the heavy-duty stuff at your leisure. Let's go through here a little bit more. Diabetes, that's a big one. Now, here's one that we're showing that by 32%, this is just one of the ingredients, okay? By 32% in the first 2 weeks, cellular uptake or exchange of glucose to insulin is improved. That's amazing. I mean, that's great for all of your diabetic friends, or those that are pre-diabetic, both type 1 and type 2. That's a great feature. Let me thumb through here. Oh, here's a big one. Cancers. Okay. Now, I don't want you going out and telling people that this is going to cure cancer. We're going to get in trouble doing that kind of stuff. But here we go. This one is it's improvement of, let me just read, reducing the toxicity levels of cancer cells as soon as, or this study was over 14 weeks, by greater than 60%. The number of tumors were significantly reduced over the entire subject's body, and also reducing all precancerous lesions. Now these are solid, peer-reviewed clinical studies. Does that mean that you take this and no one's ever going to be subject to cancer? Well, no. Everyone should also be aware that every one of you have cancer cells in your body right now. You know that? It's kind of like you have germs and bacteria right now invading you, but your body's ability to fight them off is greater than the bad guys. So the reason why someone succumbs to cancer cells is because they have started growing and they're taking over a significant part of the biological functions of the body. And so doesn't it make sense, if we keep our immunity up to fight these foreign invaders, then we don't care if they're there, because we're not going to get rid of them. We're not going to get rid of cancer cells. We're not going to get rid of germs and bacteria. We're not going to get rid of these toxins. So let's face it, let's get real about it, and then just improve our ability to fight them, to be able to resist them. And that's exactly what the CMR is designed to do, or is designed to do. Here's another one about just uptake. You know, I have an ingredient in here that's clinically been proven, the best in the world, that can increase your absorption of nutrients by up to 2,000%. Now let's just say that you're making $50,000 a year in your job, and someone comes in and says, I want to increase your pay by 30%. That's $15,000. That's a significant amount. That's 30%. 2,000% is amazing. It depends on what the ingredient is. So let's talk about which ones. Here's one. Vitamin B6 is increased by 1,544%. Coincidentally, I read a study today that shows that just simply the increase of vitamin D can significantly decrease all symptoms of metabolic syndrome. Vitamin D. Now, you can get vitamin D from the sun, or you can get it through supplementation. I give you 300% of vitamin D a day in your CMR. Isn't it comforting to know that as these studies come out, and as I make them public to you, they have nothing to do with us. We had nothing to do with that study. That you'll find that many of those studies will be talking about issues, features, benefits that the CMR has already given you. It's got to make you feel comfortable. It's got to make you feel wonderful that if you've shared it with family or friends, either as just a gift or as a business model, that it's got to make you feel good that you're doing something good for your fellow man. Let's go down through more. Man, the list just goes on. Minerals. You know, we're fortunate enough here in Utah, we have a company called Albion, and they have more patents on minerals than any other company in the world that deals with minerals. Now, they deal with it from the natural source, the most bioavailable and cleanest source. They're in a place called Clearfield, Utah, just up the road from me. I go to their plant often, and that's the ingredient that we put in our stuff. It's expensive, man, no doubt. It's expensive, but that's the quality that you put in for all the minerals that you get on a daily basis. Hopefully you're getting it on a daily basis. If you're not taking the CMR, then please do. I made it for you. I want you to take it. You'll feel the benefits. Now, I can't tell you that you're going to all feel the exact same thing, but I will promise you this. I, in 9 years, have never had a person say I didn't feel any different. Now, I did have people have different results. One person lost 180 pounds. They were a little overweight. And another person lost 10 pounds. Some people lose 8 and 10 pounds a week, and other people lose 2 pounds a week. Now, some of that is, as I warn you about, comparing yourself to others. Be careful about that, because each one of your physiologies are different. But someone has always said that it improves something, whether it was sleep, whether it was energy, whether it was clear thinking, whether it was stiffness and aches and pains or digestive disorder, or something, and I can promise you it will do something for you. I've had people tell me that it cleared up skin issues and fibromyalgia issues. But we don't want to say that it's a cure for any of those things. So I will give you this study. I challenge you to read through it. And what I want to also make you excited about, or hopefully you're excited about, is many of these ingredients I will be supplying to you to be able to provide to your friends and family, your clients, in individual form. So for example, something that, like I mentioned, is a good antagonist to cancer, or something to help with diabetes. I will put it in either a liquid or a capsule form, the same exact product that we're talking here, so that you can have it individually. Because the truth is that sometimes we need more of one particular ingredient. Let me give an example. I give you full spectrum digestive enzymes in every shake, but sometimes that's not enough. Digestive enzymes are very sensitive. They're affected by light, by stress, by a lack of sleep, by definitely by antibiotics that you may take when you go to your doctor, by certain kinds of food, by soda pop, by smoke, by pollutants. All these things can affect your digestive flora and kill some of them off. And one thing that I just do by habit is I'll have I take our digestive enzymes and I capsulize them. We're able to make capsules here. And I'll take extra when I start to feel like I'm going to come down with a cold. And so we'll make that available to you so that you can provide just that. Sometimes I need extra vitamins and minerals, and so we'll provide that to you in capsule form too. But we'll do the same whole food vitamins and minerals that we put in our shakes, so that you can provide that to people. I've been working on some new products that I'm very excited about that will help you with the exercise, for example. Instead of taking a pre-workout that actually gives you the jitters and has some ingredients in it that aren't very healthy for you, it's completely all natural, and it'll help you push you through your workout or a long day at work. If you just know that you're going to be doing it, you're going to be burning the candle at both ends. The glutathione is another ingredient that we're going to be providing to you. A great, probably, well, it's known to be the most powerful antioxidant in existence. It is many, many times more potent than any other antioxidant. I have some powerful antioxidants already in the CMR, but this one is many times more powerful, so we'll be offering that to you. So many things that we're working on that we'll make available, but we have a lot of stuff right now. And so I encourage you to be engaged, be a product of the product. Send me your testimonies, please. I love reading them. I will respond to all of them. Don't hold a time on it. It's not that you're not important enough. It's just that I will have to get to them as I can in my leisure time. But I love hearing them. It enriches me, and I'll make them available to you on the website, and then you can share them. I'll put them in categories so that you can send one that's particular to someone that you know, or maybe if it's just particular to you. And so if you haven't gone to the website, 3believe.com, the number 3, don't spell it out, and to start becoming more familiar with it, you'll see that that's functional, but we're adding pages to it, content, and more material. And I have designed for you to be able to use those as that site as a business tool. That'll be your home station, your home base. And so our videos will be housed there right now. I know that they're on YouTube, but they'll be housed on a page on our site. We're just in the process of loading those new videos into your tool so that you can send it out to other people easily. I'm working on, I promised you from the start that I'm working on some marketing campaigns, and I'm doing those as well. How I'll help in that process is not only the delivery system, so you can find new people that are interested in this type of food items or solution, but also those that are looking for a business opportunity. I'll help you with that heavy lifting side, and then I'll provide you with the content and the material and the sales model of how you do it. I'm going to make it as helpful and easy for you as possible. Why am I willing to do that? Because we're partners. I took that very seriously when we first started, is that I can only be successful if you're successful in your goal. Now that goes two ways. One, physiologically, I will not be successful in accomplishing my goals that I promise to serve my fellow man if you're not accomplishing your physiological goals, but also financially. I think I told you when we started that I was, in my previous life, a financial planner. And so I care very much about the financial strength of your situation. And so I'll be engaged in that as well. So I'm going to open it up for questions. Let me turn on the microphone. Merv, if you have anything first off, and then we'll open it up to the group. Can you hear me? Oh, all right, let's try that again. Merv, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. What's that? Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of the people are interested in the testimonies. Will we be seeing testimonies from your work with the other doctors and medical people, or what are your thoughts as far as the testimonies and making them available on the website? That's a question that comes up quite often.
Yes, just like when you, just so that you can know the legal aspect of those testimonies. Legally, I have to get a written approval from you and copyright release. So those testimonies, you own them legally. And so you have to release that to me. You have to give me permission. So hopefully all of you have read your terms and conditions when you signed up. But in that content, you automatically gave me permission to do that. So I just like, because I'm a, I don't know, dotting the I and crossing the T's kind of guy, I just have asked you to go ahead and give me permission when you send your testimony. That's just like telling me twice is all. But we already have them if you've engaged as a independent sales representative of 3Believe. And so I've done that also with our previous company over the last 9 years. And so those will be made available to you as well. And so I'll load those into the website because we have a lot of them. Some of them are in video and some of them aren't very quality, but the message is there. And so we'll load those up into the website as well so that you can use those. Next question.
Next question, go ahead. Anybody?
Yeah, Jason.
I'm excited about doing that. I'm really excited about the testimonies because that's the number one thing that everybody's interested in.
Okay, and explain to me, when you talk to someone, tell me why testimonies you feel are so important. What value do they have?
Let's put it this way. I've been looking for things for my own family members that they need. People I know, a lot of people that have health problems over the years. And you don't usually see any testimonies for somebody who helped with that problem. And when people see that they got helped from something with that problem, it shows that there's hope for that person and makes them want to try it and use it and get blessed too.
Okay, good. Well, good. I agree with you. I don't argue at all. And so we will make them available. Let me share with you just a little bit then. I received 2 testimonies this last week that I read. One of them was from Australia. It was a mother and son, and they have experienced several issues over the last, in her case, by more than the last decade, going to experts all over their country and seeking remedy of any type. Chronic pain, and she said that in just 2 weeks she's received more relief than she has in any of the other remedies by substantial measure. So she is very excited about how it might provide her more relief after 2 weeks. Now, her and her son also are struggling with weight issues, and so they've had results there. But she said even in spite of the weight loss, they just feel like they can live again. They're not in as much pain, and they're able to sleep better. It was inspiring. Another one was from a gentleman of 92 years old, and he was sad because he has not been able to be as active as he has in previous years, running and exercising, and he has been able to return to that. He said that the reason why he had to stop is because of the pain, inflammation, that his joints were too sore. He just couldn't handle it. And he's been able to return to that life. Now, what a wonderful thing. Here you are getting older. Now, this fine gentleman's been able to push the limits of human life. He's approaching 100 years old. And and most people would say, look, I mean, you're 92. What do you expect? A sport, you can't be running around like a young spring chicken. You're supposed to slow down, and you're supposed to die. That's just the human condition. And for you to get that back, where you can do that again, what a liberation. And it brought a tear to my eyes as I was reading it. So thank you so much for sending that. Next question.
Another question? Anyone? Anybody?
Yeah, Jason?
Yes.
Yeah, I left a message on the screen here. We can ignore that because you answered a few of the questions. But I just ordered today, which was a P22. And I walk 3 miles every day and everything. And I thought the P22 would be best for me, so I ordered for the whole month. But I remember you telling me that there's a time frame that you might get too much protein and you need to get the P6. Now, what I wanted to do is start exercising more as I used to. I just want to see what you think maybe that I should do. If I'm doing it right, just continue with P22 or not.
Okay, all right, that's a reasonable question. So let me kind of rehearse for everybody why this is an important issue. The P22, the P6, and the P3. The differences between those formulas is the only changes that I have in that is the amount of the protein. So the P22 is equivalent to 22 grams of protein. The P6 is 6 grams, and the P3 is 3 grams per serving. The other difference is that the formula and the mixture of the digestive enzymes are slightly different. I put in different formulas and different ratios because once you get this paper that I send you, this one right here that I refer to, right, of all the ingredients, it will list all the proteins I have in there, and it's quite comprehensive. If you look on the back of the bag where it defines the enzymes, you'll see them listed there as well. But what happens is that if you're in the case of trying to lose weight, so one of the goals that you're trying to accomplish is losing excess fat. And it's just going to be a reality that if you're on the P22, which everyone should start on, and then you're on it for about 2 weeks, generally about the mark for most people, your digestive enzymes are more effective in breaking down those proteins that you have from P22. Why do you have more protein in the beginning? Because of what I talked about in the very big start of this webinar, and that is that your appetite is greater because your cells are not getting what they need, so they get more volume. They solve the problem by mass, by the total amount. But as I increase your ability to digest that protein, you don't need as much anymore. The average person is only digesting 47% of the proteins that they're getting in the first place. So, having said that, I've increased your protein absorbing ability, along with other things, but we're talking about protein right now. And if I leave you at that level, your body's going to break down more of the amino acids than it needs. And so it goes around and it says to the rest of the body, hey, any more cells need to be made? Do you need any amino acids? Does any body tissue, muscle tissue need to be repaired? And if nobody raises their hand in your body, then it'll say, well, don't waste it yet. Go ahead and break it down to into a glucose. We'll ask that question again. We'll see if anybody needs that energy source. When that happens, it's possible that you can get an insulin spike because now glucose has been introduced to your bloodstream. If you have insulin introduced, then it is the antagonist of burning fat. Because remember, you can't burn stored fat if you have an insulin predominant physiology. You have to have a glucagon predominant physiology. Glucagon is the opposite of insulin. Glucagon tells your body to burn stored fat. Insulin says to store fat, don't burn it. And so people will plateau, and I don't want you to plateau if fat burning is your goal. So I automatically, in our kits, move you to Pro 6 unless you specifically ask for the Pro 22. Now, if you're in a person that you're trying to build muscle mass, I will caution you, it is very taxing on the body to burn stored fat and build significant muscle mass at the same time. That's like multitasking. I know you think you can multitask, especially us guys. There's been studies that prove that women can do it better than us anyway. But even women can't do it well. They can do multitasking, but none of us can do it well. And so you can't burn stored fat and build muscle tissue well simultaneously. Let's just do one at a time. And so usually the best course is to lose the weight and then build the muscle. Our diet program is amazing in the fact that you will build a little bit of muscle tissue, but not a significant amount, not like 20 or 30 pounds of muscle tissue. But what more importantly, you won't lose muscle tissue while you're burning the fat, which is what happens most of the time in most diets, is you dehydrate yourself and you burn muscle tissue. That's terrible. And that's why doctors are recommending now that people don't do those kind of diets. So if you don't have a lot of weight to burn or a lot of weight to lose, and you just want to shave off a little bit, then using the Pro 22 for the first month, watch the scale that you have, look at your muscle mass, and just make sure that it's not going down. If it's not going down, the next thing for you to look for is there excess fat that you need to lose? Have you plateaued? If you plateaued, then you're getting too much protein. Okay, that's taken in for granted that you're not also cheating and getting glucose or carbohydrates. That will also stop you from burning fat. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jason.
You bet. Now, I put these programs, the packages, the phase 1 and the phase 4 together for you just based on my experience of thousands of patients, okay? You have the elective to change the flavor, to change the Pro 22, to the P6, to the P. You have that freedom. I'm not going to force it down your throat. I'm just simply telling you what I think you're most likely to need. Now, right now, I have been on the Pro 3 for 18 months, and I haven't lost any lean muscle tissue. But I am now in a phase right now that I'm trying to build some more muscle tissue. I have an injured shoulder, and I'm trying to build some, and so I am increased. I've gone back to doing the Pro 22, but you should also know that I'm doing 2-a-days. I do a very strenuous high interval training for an hour, getting a heart rate up, and then I followed up with weight training to build the muscle tissue. So I need that extra protein to repair my muscle. So in those kind of situations, then it's a good remedy. It will be my design to take little videos like I just did for you and put them in categories so that you can then listen to those and pass them on. My goal is that your website, the one that you have, will have hundreds of videos, tutorial videos in there, just like what I just showed you. Short, sweet, full of information, and it'll be very informative. And that'll be part of your business tool. One last question. Yes, go ahead. I can't hear you. One more time. All right. Well, I must have thought I heard something. Again, I want to thank you all for your faith and trust. And you will be getting more information as the days go on. I am so proud of you for the progress that you've had, for the successes that you've had, and please share them with me. Honestly, they warm my heart, and they even inspire me to do better, and even develop new products. You never know the epiphanies and ideas that I get the information that you give me, and when those happen, I'll share them with you. I'll tell you that you were a trigger to those sharing of your personal life. So God bless you all. Keep up the good work, and stay on the program. Share it with your friends and family. Get going. We're almost out of the pre-launch. We're going to fully launch here as all the products are labeled properly. There's still a couple of steps that we have to do, but I thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thanks, Jason. Take care.
Good night, everybody. Great call. Appreciate it. Yeah, good night, everybody, and God bless you. Appreciate you being on the call. Thank you.
Take care, Merv. Thank you. Thanks, Jason.